efforts, but then the turnout could be exactly the opposite, right? Why? Because, again, it's God's work. We just need to sow the seed. Okay, so that's basically some kind of mentality we need to have when it comes to the evangelism. And also, I think what happened for our younger generation is we did receive a lot of training, right? Do we? Yeah, we we go to NYTS, right? I mean, some of you may, I don't know if in the age of NYTS, at least the SSCs, right? And NITS, we received very intensive training in terms of our knowledge on the Bible, right? And also in school, you're all well educated, right? I think from young, you are taught how to give a public speech, aren't you? Right? Because in US, I believe we do that, right? In the school, your teacher will force you to go out, like in Father's Day, you have to claim, your father is the best father in the world, right? Everyone is taught to do that, right? How many best fathers in the world are there, right? So, but anyway, you are taught to do that even starting from your school. So you have the skill. Skill set is not a problem, right? So you're well trained. But then we cannot be satisfied only in terms of receiving training. We have to take one step further. We have to go out of the door and to really preach, to sow the seed. So in Isaiah chapter 28, 24, it says, this is another verses, and that's very, very interesting. In Isaiah 28, 24, it says, does a plowman plow all day to sow? Does he open and break the clods of his ground? So it gives the image of a farmer, right? He's just hesitating of sowing. He just plowing all the day, just plowing the land, plowing, and then seal it and cover it, and then open it up again and cover it. Why? It doesn't make sense, right? When you put the effort, when you receive all the training, make good use of that, okay? And that means we need to sow the seed, right? So if you continue to read those verses, it's very, very interesting, right? If you read Isaiah chapter 28, verse 25 to 29, is a rod. 28, bread grain is crushed, but not always does one thresh it with threshing, and he drives the wheel of his cart, and his horses do not beat it small. Farmers give us an image that uneducated is farmers, when they plant the seed, they have a strategy, okay? When they harvest their plants, they also have a strategy, okay? So they need to prepare the land, right? And cast out the different type of seeds. So in chapter 28, it talked about cumin and dill. Actually, another version it says fishes, or another version says black cumin. So there are two different types of seeds. They are all used for spices, right? Sometimes if you eat Middle Eastern food, right, those breads comes with those black stuff, like, like sesame, right? But it's not sesame. Cumin, or this is like a picture of different cumin. So they have different sizes. So those verses told us when you harvest these different seeds, you use different tools, right? You do not overdo it. You use a rod to beat it out. Like it's hidden within like a shell, within a crust. You just crush the crust. Don't break what's inside, because if you break what's inside, the spice will go away, right? You destroy it. So there's a certain way of harvesting. Besides the sowing, you also harvest in different ways. Really, what that teaches us, have a strategy, right? We need to look at what do we harvest? We harvest God's people, right? We need to bring people to God, just like how we harvest the planted seed that's grown up. And then we need to have the right tool, right? And we need to differentiate, depend on different type of seed, different type of harvest. We have to use different ways to harvest them, right? Not always the sharpest tool is the best, or not always the heaviest tool is the best, right? It has to be the right size. It has to fit to the right type of crops. So sometimes I like to use this, look at the people around you, right? What are those different type of people, right? I actually made a simple table here. You can actually fill in your own way, right? So different type of comment. Like people, sometimes, people around you, like some of your friends, they are atheists, right? They don't believe existence of any God, right? And you can call them fishes, right? Or the people who actually believe God's existence, but they don't actually believe God has anything to do with them, right? And then you can call them cumin, right? And then people who actually have non-Christian beliefs, they maybe go to the temple, worship Buddha, right? And you can call them weed. I'm just giving an example, okay? You don't need to stick to that. And then there are Christians from other denominations, non-TJC denominations, right? And then you can call them bully, okay? So this tells us for different type of people, you need to use different type of tools. You need to approach them in different ways, right? Understand what they're thinking, right? And then if God's Spirit moved us, we know how to use the right words to convey the message in a proper way, right? So honestly, I don't have a recipe of what to do with different type of people, right? I complete a recipe like a Bible that teaches you what to do, number 1, number 2, number 3, I wish, right? But there's no such thing. Most of the time, it's God's movement, right? But we do need to understand what the people are think. And also, we need to understand what Bible says, right? And so we can connect. So we are the bridges that connect people to God's word. Okay, put it that way. So what do we do now? I actually want to give you, present some cases, and let's think about in those kind of situations, what you're going to do, right? What are you going to say, right? And we can feel free to share. We have a microphone here, if anyone wants to share. Let's start with a case number 1. Of course, I made it up, okay? Let me read it. Brother Kyle's college friend, Tom, is an atheist who believes everything should be explainable with science. Think about it. Uh-huh. Okay. We can do that too. I don't know if we have enough time, but we can do that too. I don't know if we have enough time, but yeah, we can do that. Do you want? Yeah, we can do that. Do you want to do that? Like a